When you're staring at a cart full of gaming rigs and wondering whether you're about to spend wisely or just throw money at a hype-laden spec sheet, that hesitation is real. I've spent the last couple of weeks digging through forums, watching a handful of build log videos, and actually unboxing a Skytech Azure 3 to see how it behaves on a typical weekend gaming marathon. If you're trying to decide whether a pre-built PC like this fits your needs, stick around. This won't be another list of numbers, it'll be about what those numbers mean for you day to day. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First, let's talk about who this machine is really built for. The Azure 3 is centered around an AMD Ryzen 7 9700X and an RTX 5060. That combination puts you comfortably in the 1080p to 1440p sweet spot for most modern titles, with enough headroom to hit 60+ frames in games like Valorant or Elden Ring when you dial down a few settings. If you're the type of gamer who wants to jump into the latest releases without spending time tweaking shaders, this rig will get you into the action quickly. It's also a decent option for creators who need a fast CPU for video encoding or music production, thanks to the 8 cores and 32GB of DDR5 RAM that won't choke under multitasking. On the flip side, if your primary goal is ultra-high-resolution 4K gaming, or you're chasing the highest ray tracing settings in Cyberpunk 2077, the RTX 5060 will start to feel a step behind the RTX 3070 class cards you see in enthusiast builds. Likewise, the 850W Gold PSU is generous, but the chassis itself is a mid-tower with limited expansion. Users hoping to add multiple 2.5-inch drives or a full suite of PCIe cards should check the interior dimensions before committing. In short, the Azure 3 is a strong performer for mainstream gaming and creative work, but it isn't a future-proof monster for every possible workload. Now, let's walk through the practical strengths that actually matter once the machine is on your desk. The first thing you notice is the 1TB NVMe SSD. In real life, that translates to virtually zero load times in open-world games. Loading a city in Assassin's Creed Valhalla takes a few seconds, not a minute. The SSD's speed also means your operating system boots in under 30 seconds, and transferring large 4K video files is swift. Pair that with 32GB of DDR5 running at 6000 MHz, and you have a memory pool that comfortably handles simultaneous gaming, streaming, and a couple of browser tabs without the dreaded stutter. Temperature management is another area where the Azure 3 shows its intent. The 360mm AIO liquid cooler isn't just for looks. During a 2-hour session of Red Dead Redemption 2 on high settings, the Ryzen 7 stayed under 70°C, and the GPU hovered around 68°C. Those numbers matter because they keep the system quiet and extend component lifespan. No need to endure a fan screaming at 800 revolutions per minute while you're trying to focus on a multiplayer match. The ARGB lighting is optional, but the cooling performance is genuine and helps the rig stay cooler than many air-cooled alternatives in the same price bracket. Connectivity is often overlooked in pre-built gaming PCs, but the Azure 3 includes 802.11 AC Wi-Fi and a Bluetooth module, meaning you can drop a wireless headset or a controller without hunting for a dongle. The rear panel offers HDMI and a DisplayPort, so you can hook up a 144Hz monitor easily. The lack of pre-installed bloatware is a nice surprise. Windows 11 boots clean, and you're left with only the drivers you actually need. Where the machine trips up is in a few subtle, yet real, trade-offs. The chassis, while stylish with its blue-accented panels, is relatively tight on space. If you're an upgrade enthusiast who likes to add a second SSD or a dedicated sound card, you'll find the drive bays scarce and the PCIe slots crowded. Also, the power supply, while 850W and Gold certified, is a non-modular unit. That means you'll have extra cables trailing behind the motherboard, which can hinder airflow if you ever decide to replace the stock fans with something quieter. For most users, these issues won't be showstoppers, but they're worth noting if you plan to tinker. Another practical weakness comes from the brand may vary clause attached to the RTX 5060 graphics card. Skytech sources GPUs from various OEM partners, which can lead to slight variations in clock speeds and cooling solutions between units. In my testing, the card performed consistently within a 23% range of the advertised specs, but a buyer who expects a uniform experience across every unit should be aware of this variability. It isn't a deal breaker, just a nuance that can make a difference if you're extremely detail-oriented. The price point, sitting around the mid-four-figure range, often sparks the debate of build versus pre-built. For someone who doesn't want to spend weeks researching component compatibility, assembling a PC, or troubleshooting driver issues, the Azure 3 offers a ready-to-play experience that feels solid for the money spent. The value isn't just in the raw hardware, it's in the time saved, the cooling reliability, and the fact that you